Rehabilitation Center, for California Institute for Women, for California, for many prisons. I worked at San Quentin. I worked at death row. I did. What did I take with me? I took the teachings of Imam Deen Mohammed with me. Now I want to show you something. So, because I'm here to promote the unity, the love, the sincerity that I have for this community. This is an inspired community. This is a divine community. These are not just words. This is the reality of it. I'm a student of the Imam. Yes, I am. And I want to show you how I live day to day. I want to show you I'll be right there. I'm almost finished. Some of y'all remember this book, huh?
Yes, sir.
This is a wonderful book.
Yes, sir.
Don't you like this book? Oh, isn't it tough? Yes, indeed. Now, you know in the Bible where it says Jesus went to the fig tree, and he said to the fig tree, "What have you got for me?" And the fig tree didn't have anything for Jesus. And Jesus said, "Well, cursed be the fig tree, and you shall bear fruit no more." And instantly in the scripture said that fig tree withered.
Yes, sir.
Went apart. Yes? Now the Imam teaches us what that fig is. Because that fig is a part of your development, boy. You can't leave out that fig. Yeah? And that fig is, what is that fig? That fig is that emotional stimulation to the rational intellect. You got to have that fig before you get to the olive. That's in the Imam's book. Yes? I'm talking about Imam W.D. Muhammad. I surround myself with his literature. My wife will tell you. It's in the living room. It's in the kitchen. It's upstairs. It's in the basement. It's in the washroom. It is in my car. I don't leave without it. I don't. I carry him wherever I go. Now let's take another look. Y'all know this one too, don't you? It said, "As the light shineth from the east, even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be." Now we know who the Son of Man is now. Yes? Oh yes, we've experienced that. We can put it in 2014 behavior. This is not talking about way back there, it's talking about now. And our Imam was a perfect example of it. Now I'm going to tell you something that I believe. This is what I believe from my toes to my head. You know, Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, she was asked by one of the companions, "Tell me about the character of the Prophet." And she said, "Well, don't you read the Quran?" She said, "Well, he's the walking Quran." The Imam Deen Muhammad was the walking Quran. That's truth. Yes, indeed. Could you ever remember asking him a question of a Quran that he didn't know? Huh? Now, if you haven't read this one, Message of Concern. That's another one. Yeah? Now this little man, he was so scholarly and so busy doing all this. And then running around the country teaching us.
That's right.
He had a heavy workload. One day in Detroit, next day in Chicago, next day in Philly, next day in Los Angeles, next day in Jamaica, next day in China. That was this man.
That's right.
You see why we love him, don't you? You know this book here? Wake Up to Human Life. Yeah? I don't need to go through it and read some excerpts because you know this. If you don't, you should get it. Now here's another one. The Imam is still coming. I didn't bring them all. I'm telling you my love. I'm telling you my sincerity for this community. Yes, I want to be eternally thankful for what I have been blessed with.
Alhamdulillah.
When I look at my children, I feel strong.
Alhamdulillah.
I do. I love my children. When I look at this community, I feel even stronger. Yes, because I love this community.
Praise be to Allah.
And follow the best thereof. That's our Imam.
That's right.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Got another one.
Don't take your time.
I will, because I'm loving this. I don't want to rush this, because you don't get these opportunities often.
That's right.
You understand? So if I'm a little slow, I'm going to be a little slow, because I want to savor this.
Yes, sir.
You know, as a little child, when you get a lollipop, you would take that lollipop and you keep that plastic paper, because you lick it a little bit and plastic it up and then put it in your pocket. And then you walk for another 2 hours, take it out, lick it again, and you want it to last all day long. Yes?
That's right.
So that's what I'm doing. Now here he talks about the what? Life, the final battlefield.
That's right.
Now, I have to read something out of this. I have to do this. He says Islam is an idea for the reform of the world.
That's right.
The more and more understanding of an idea that was for the reform of the whole world. Then he talks about in religion, we are in competition. We're in competition with the Christians. We're in competition with the Jews. We're in competition with our own potential. And the competition I'm talking about is not this dog-eat-dog situation out there. We're talking about doing the good. And what did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad lay a foundation for? Ummatul Wusta. A balanced community. And where do we find that balance? We found that balance in the life of Imam Deen Mohammed. That's what we found it. We found the Christ spirit. Not only the spirit, but the knowledge, the details, the science. My son here, he was 17 years old, and he was teaching me about processing proteins. And I would sit in the car and take notes from him. Isn't that right, son? See, he's humble. He just he's brilliant. He is. And he's humble. And he's a scientist.
Yes, sir.
He works for one of the world's largest accounting firms. It's called Ernst & Young. And they have him traveling back and forth in America, looking at new business, analyzing portfolios and etc. And he talks to me about them. Yeah, Dad, I'm looking at a portfolio. It's about $100 million for this and that and the other. Oh, really? Yes. So the growth of this community, it's in real good hands for the youth that are here. It is. When you look at the family of the Honorable the Imam, when you look at his son, and what comes out of his tree. Yes? Now, we know that word symmetry. It means balance, doesn't it? But the Imam has taught us tree. And if you want to know the constitution of the human being, look at a tree. And wasn't Adam told not to eat of that tree? And people are still wondering, what tree is that? We know that that's the human tree. It's human beings that make human beings sinful. That's where it comes from. And we did not have a reason to believe in God until Imam Deen Muhammad came. We had reason to believe in God. Yes, we had been given a Trinitarian doctrine that messed us up real bad. Especially coming from slave history. Yes, we had been crucified and reduced to an X. That's what we've been reduced to. And that tape that you all know where I'm coming from, that was our first name. Write your name here, said the slave master. Put your X there, boy. And you know that X don't have a head on it. That X doesn't have a trunk. Yeah? The X don't have nothing. And the Imam showed us how that X can be that believing mu'min, that community with a head on it. He raised us up with language.
That's right.
And taught us that we are a product of language.
That's right.
And we had to take that ugly language out of our system. And he did it so strategically.
Yes, sir.
He did it slow. And he would say, now, not now one of you out there understands this because you're crippled. Some of the egotistical brothers couldn't digest that too much.
That's right. That's right.
What are you talking about? I'm crippled. I can talk just as good as you talk.
Yes, sir.
And I got 4 or 5 cars. And I'm pimping the community.
Yes, sir.
So what you talking about? I met them pimps.
Yes, sir.
And I followed the Imam's process.
Yes.
Being humility, being humble.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to mention one of the big ones.
Yes, sir.
But in 1979, the Imam came out with a tape. And he said, I hope that brother lives for a long time.
Yes, sir.
So that brother can see this community grow and see the impotence of his message.
Yes, sir.
I don't need to mention names. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Yes. Now, we are in heaven. And what is heaven? Huh? We're not talking about somewhere up there. We're talking about high moral principles. We're talking about human aspirations. That's what we're talking about. Yes? We're talking about love your brother as you love yourself. Or you can't get the key to come in. Isn't that right? We're talking about honoring the woman. The womb that gave birth to us.
That's right.
And my mama used to tell me, when I asked her, I said, Mama, how can your stomach is big? Is that a disease? Because I went to the dentist one day and I had a big, abscess tooth. And I said, Mama, I know what the problem is, Mama. You have to go to the doctor because the doctor, he pulled my tooth and now the abscess went down. So you got an abscess in your stomach. I being a doctor there with, yeah? It was at that time Mama said, no, boy, this is the womb that gives birth to you. I live in there, Mama? Yes, that's where you live. Oh, I was able to see all 4 of my children come into this world. I was right there.
Yes, sir.
I cut the cord.
Yes, sir.
I was the first to hold them.
Yes.
I washed them down.
Yes.
I whispered into their ear Al-Fatiha. I whispered into their ear the Adhan.
Yes.
I told them before they could walk, you are the best of the best. Didn't Daddy tell you that, girls? Didn't Daddy tell you that, son?
Yes.
And they act like it.
Praise God.
You can't tell them they're not the best of the best. They behave like that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's how they behave. Yes, they had their little ups and downs and this and that and the others. But their intent, their consciousness, they know that God is real.
Yes, sir.
And they know it through the behavior of what they've seen in their daddy.
Praise be to Allah.
My family, they recognize that God is one. This universe is one. I've asked college students all over America and in Europe too, why do schools call themselves universities? And they look at me and go, I don't know, that's a deep question. I said, well, don't you have at the university the studies of mineral life, plant life, animal life, and things in the universe? I said, yes.